Welcome to the Wrexham Coffee Matchup. I'm Dave.
And I'm Courtney. Each week, we'll take a few minutes to catch up on the latest news from Wrexham. From matchups to transfers, on and off the pitch, we'll share our takes on it all.
So grab a coffee and join us.
Hey Dave, welcome back.
Welcome back, and it's an unusual day, we might say, in terms of our recording.
It's true. We have only recorded one other episode just after a match when we were actually together in Wrexham.
Yeah, so we're not in the same room this time, but we just finished about an hour or so ago the Sheffield United match, which we'll say up front was a 2-1 victory, which was a nice change of pace after the earlier in the week match against Watford.
Well, it was a nice change in pace for the result.
For the result this week, but yes,
for my heart, that was not a change of pace.
Yeah,
I don't know what match you were watching.
Yeah, so why don't we talk about today's match first, and then we'll rewind a little bit afterwards and talk about Tuesday's match. So,
I mean, going into the match, I guess we weren't really expected to win. I think Wrexham fans, we always expect to win, right?
Right.
We have this anticipation of being giant killers and of, just going up and up and up and up and up. And I think that's great. But I think also to be in the land of reality is good as well. I mean, I think this wasn't a match that we were really expected to win. And at the beginning, I kind of felt a relief in a way that there wasn't either team that was really dominating, which to me means, okay, we've got a chance.
Right. Right.
But then it just felt like we weren't really doing much.
Well, and we talked a little bit last week, and just the word, there's a common consensus agreement. The team is tired, right? We've had a relentless nonstop go since January. Everyone's tired. Our injuries are stretching us really, really thin, especially in the midfield and with Moore still out. It's just, and then with Dobson, he was out, but I mean, luckily he was back, and as expected, he was right back into the starting lineup today. But it's I think everyone's just been kind of just pushing to get to the break. Mm-hmm. And once the final whistle went, I think there was this sigh of relief of okay,
collective.
we have 13 days now. Let's regroup.
Yeah.
Other than Broadhead and Hyam, who will go off and play some other matches, everyone else can kind of regroup a little bit. Hopefully we can get Moore back. Hopefully Matty James will be coming back soon. We just really need to figure out how to fill the holes that we have.
Yeah.
So the first half, so I think there's one word that describes today's match. One word, and that would be
the whole
hectic.
match.
The whole match.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I agree with that word.
Hectic is the match. I think it was the first half particularly, like you said, no one was outplaying the other side, but no one was really staking their claims either, right?
Yeah.
And so it was shoot it this way, they break through our midfield to get to it, and then they make bad shots on goal. Then we get it back, and then we try to
thankfully
get it back. Yes. And it was constantly back and forth. There was minutes here and there where one side dominated over the other, but nothing really that stuck a claim in the match. And we left at halftime just not really knowing where this was going to go, right? And I think that at first when we came back from the halftime, and they came out on fire, right? And scored a goal pretty quickly on. And
well, I mean, we also came out on fire and had
chance,
a ball that went into the net but was offsides.
Right.
And then immediately it was well, no, their turn.
Yeah. And then they turned and scored. And the thought that popped into my head was, did Parky give the talk to the wrong team? But that luckily was not the case, because I would say that from when we came out at the beginning of the second half, I think Windass, something in him clicked. Yeah. And he just said, we are not going to go down this way. And I think they even shifted him further up, right? Frosted tips or not,
we are in it to win it.
We are, I think for the next 30 minutes or so, he really, really just showed that. Yeah. And I think the team coalesced around that spirit. And I think we noticed that there was a big shift in the way we were playing at that point.
Yeah, there was for sure. I think, so your word was hectic. My word was chaos. And I said that the chaos on the pitch was echoed by the chaos in my home because I watched the first sort of 65 minutes by myself. And then my little one came back and was jumping on and over my head for the rest of the match, which really, I think I probably had a similar experience to being on the pitch, probably that level of chaos.
So your little one was your Windass, right? It's sort
Pretty
of the
much,
chaos
yeah.
creator. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about Ollie Rathbone for a second.
He can be one of the chaos kids. Sorry, go ahead.
Could be.
Ollie
Yes.
Rathbone.
So there's this debate that goes around as to whether he should be starting or whether he comes in and brings the energy
not
when
a
he
debate.
comes in. Well, we know where you
There's no
stand on
debate.
that.
You can
We
call
know
it a
where you
debate if
stand.
you want.
So he did not start.
Well,
today.
so did he start last match?
Yes, he did.
And did we win?
No, we
Did
did
he
not.
start today's match?
Yes.
Did we
No,
win?
he didn't. Yes, we did. Okay. So we knew it was time to bring him on, right? We
Yeah.
felt the need for momentum.
Oh yeah.
We had another one of those cases that we've seen too many times where maybe you and I think it happened a little too late. Could have come on a little bit sooner. He didn't come on until the 73rd minute. But my question was, of all the people
Yeah.
to pull off,
Yeah.
why did you pull Windass off to put Rathbone on?
We were both surprised by that, weren't we?
Yes.
I saw, subs coming in. I thought, fine, great. Yeah. Why not? But then to see Windass pulled off, I thought, I mean, that guy, the one
The
who
guy
just
who
scored.
just scored and the one who's been
Him?
leading most of the attacks in the second half. Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
it's,
in the end, I mean, don't question, right? Because that cross from Kabore to the
mhm,
header by Sam Smith, holy smokes.
that was. And then he
That
launched
was a sight to
himself
behold.
and then practically launching himself into the crowd in celebration. Yeah. He just, I mean, there's nothing, Smith did nothing wrong up to that point. He just wasn't given the chances. Like he was trying to make the breaks. He was setting himself up and it's just the setups weren't getting there. And so when Kabore finally made that setup and he was ready for it and he was still had the energy. So I wouldn't have suggested Smith coming off for Rathbone either. I would have maybe brought Viner off and readjusted Dobson, O'Brien a little bit and then had the three chaos kids, in the middle supporting the front. That would have been a nice thing to see. But like I said, we're complaining at this point over a victory.
No,
And
just commenting.
So I think it's just a matter of there's things we need to think about because especially in the first half, like we said hectic, you said chaotic. The other thing in the first half, our midfield did have a quality similar to a soft cheese in that it was very easy to just slice right through and get past. and
With a spoon, just scoop them right up.
Just scoop right up. And before we come back from the break, we only have 7 matches left, and it's a really, really tight race to get into the playoffs at this point, which we'll talk about. But we're going to have to do something to tighten that up. And it's one of those.
I think rest is going to help.
I think it will. And getting more back will help. I mean, you made a comment to me during the match today, and we've talked about this many, many weeks ago, is having only 2 options on how we lead a game. One being Moore, big guy up front, one being Smith, fast guy up front, and no alternatives to those 2. It's showing that it can work for a match or 2.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
long
not
term.
Long term,
and
it
really
doesn't work. Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, it's not really Moore or Smith. Like realistically, It's not. Realistically, it's Moore.
Right.
Up front. And I mean, we talked about the squad kind of being built around him. And I think we're really feeling now, is it just the effect of him being out? Is it the effect also of 82 matches in the last 3.5 weeks? Maybe a combination.
It's both. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think we're feeling the effects of a lot of things. I think this almost 2-week break is coming at could have come earlier, but coming at a good time.
Right. Right, good time, and we'll talk a little bit about what's coming next in a minute, but let's not completely brush over last Tuesday's match. So
Sure.
Tuesday against Watford, a
Mm-hmm.
very very disappointing 3-1 loss, which you're just gonna mumble at me for the next minute or two, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
um, I would say I had one of those Garfield moments. Yeah, Garfield hates Mondays,
Sure.
and I I'm
You hate
coming
Tuesdays.
I'm starting to feel like an I hate Tuesday person,
Yeah.
just especially this season. And
It's
I
been
think
tough.
this season has been tough because it feels like I don't know if there's more or less of these Tuesday matches. It just feels that since January they've been relentless.
Yeah.
And the fact that we advanced through the FA Cup meant a lot of reschedulings. So it's just a lot of,
Take
you
two.
know, take two. So I think the take two is we had a little bit of a technical issue here, and I'd be happy to mention that I somehow did not record my video for the last 12 minutes.
Wait, so we're even.
We're even.
Episode 1,
Episode
episode 31.
31. You would think by 31 I would have figured it out. We will figure this out. So as I was saying, people on Spotify and Apple Podcasts will not notice the difference other than why did they stop in the middle of a sentence. Producer Eric will take care of all of that. So I was saying, so I think, as we know, Garfield hates Mondays. I've come to hate Tuesdays. And
Yeah.
the reason why it just feels like since January, particularly with the relentless schedule and the FA Cup leading to a lot of rescheduled matches during the midweek, I just felt like the Saturday, Tuesday, or the weekend Tuesday, so many times for the last 3 months has really weighed on the
Mm-hmm.
team.
Yeah.
And we noticed it after the Chelsea match.
And the fans.
And the fans, and the fans, and the
It's been
fans are
tough for us too.
well, and the fans in the stands are the 12th person on the field, right? They're
Yeah.
very important. But we felt it after the Chelsea game. We felt it again at Watford this week. It's just uninspired, tired. But then there was a lot of the same issues that we talked about for this Sheffield match today, where just our midfield not looking cohesive and people
Yeah.
being able to cut through and take advantage of that. It was interesting because we all play armchair coach and manager, and I rarely call out that I would make subs at halftime. And I texted people and I said we need Windass, and right at the halftime we had Windass, and so I'm like, oh, Parky must be on my text chain or something. I don't know. He listened to me, or we're learning how he thinks. But the second half did look. If we had played the way we played in the second half at Watford, I don't think the result would have been what we had. I think we could have got out that probably with a draw. It's just a matter of we chalk it up as another bad day. We move on. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
as a result of us losing that day and Southampton winning on the Wednesday, they now moved up ahead of us on the table. So now they're in 7th or 6th, and we're in 7th. And it's just based on
We've
goal
got
differential.
7 matches to go.
There's 7 matches to go. They won again today. So did we, with the same goal differential. So we're going into this final 7 matches sort of in that really tight. There's a very tight position between 5th and 7th and 8th, actually. And then there's also another really tight match for who will get the automatic promotion.
Yeah.
So the sort of 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, it could go to any one of those teams depending on the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So when you want to look ahead about what we have, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say there was a standout, I would say, from the match on whatever day that was. And that was learning. This kind of like brought me back to the early Wrexham days of the very long, I think it's trademarked. The Tozer throw-in.
Oh, yes. We have not seen that in 2 years now since Ben left us, right?
Yeah, so that was pretty cool to see a very long throw in from Zach Viner.
Right. So there was sort of an inspiring story that you had hinted
Yeah.
about prior to the
Yeah.
match, and that actually had a result, a new chapter formed at the end of the match.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not on our team, but a very inspirational
Well,
story nonetheless. Yeah.
at that point it was kind of the conclusion was there. But we talk a lot about matches and points and promotion and all of this, but at the end of the day, there's real people. The players are people, and the stories behind some of them, well, behind all of them, are incredible. And there's one in particular, Edoardo Bove, who now plays for Watford. He was playing for Roma, and he was loaned out to a team called Fiorentina, and at the end of 2024 collapsed on the field. He had to have a surgery to have a defibrillator put in, and that made him no longer eligible to play in Italy. So he, in January, got signed to play for Watford, and he's played. This wasn't the first match back that
Hmm.
he had played. So it had been, that was December 2024, a little over a year later. And actually at the match against us, he scored the third goal
Hmm.
for Watford. And he went and he jumped up on, the railing by
Hmm.
where the fans sit. And the players came up behind him and sort of lifted him up on their shoulders. And like, I got very emotional watching it. He's had this like really horrible thing that happened to him while he was playing, to have this, I guess, heart attack.
Yeah.
And then to come back and, play and have that, it was just, yeah, it was really emotional to watch.
Yeah. And to have that chance again to like,
Yeah.
because a lot of times that would be the end of your career, even at 21 years old when he had that heart attack. It's funny because you had told me about him prior to, and I did a little bit
Hmm.
of Google searching, and then I was watching the match, and I was at work, and I heard the goal, and I turned to the TV, and I instantly recognized his face from the
Hmm.
pictures that you had sent me. And so to see, his face and just the joy on his face, and then the rest
Yeah.
of his teammates who also seem to have that joy, it's sort
To
of like,
literally lift him up.
yeah,
Yeah.
to lift him up. And the crowd just went insanely wild. And so
Yeah.
it's just, it's moments like
All
that.
four of them.
Yeah. But it's moments like that that just makes you realize why people love this sport so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Well, thank you for sharing that story. So coming up.
Well,
So,
I had been asked probably 75 times, when does Watford play Wrexham? When does and I was like, what is your obsession with Watford? And then I got the story about Bove and read about him and find out his story. So then I was on the lookout as well.
So, if your husband had just told you the story up front, you would have kept him posted on when we're playing Watford automatically. But
that's too logical.
Too logical. That's fine. So as we mentioned, so we have the international break now. So
Yes,
no
thank
matches for the
goodness.
next 13 days, and pretty much consistent. I
Let's
think
hope
all
that's
the
not unlucky.
yes, all the matches for this week's match day are all done. There's no matches tomorrow, so we have a good sense of the table. So time to regroup. So
Hmm.
since last week, you mentioned last week that Dom Himes been called up for Scotland.
Yep.
And then we got word this week that Nathan Broadhead and Danny Ward were called up for Wales. So it's good to see Danny
Hmm.
Ward recovered and well enough to play to get called back up. I partly wonder if Broadhead didn't play today because they're protecting him for the Wales match, or they just didn't need to risk
He
him.
didn't need to.
Maybe
Yeah.
didn't need to
Yeah.
risk him. So we'll see. So Wales is playing Bosnia-Herzegovina on March 26th. And then if they win, they will play the winner of the Italy-Northern Ireland match. So keep an eye on
Which is also
those.
on the 26th, by the way.
Okay. So that's a big day. So for international play. And then we come back to league action on Friday, April 3rd, which is Good Friday. So the afternoon match against West Brom. And then on Tuesday, April 7th, this is the big one. The next big one is the rescheduled Southampton match. I mean, they're all big. They're all
exactly
big. But Southampton, who as in the last week has creeped right ahead of us on the table.
Yeah.
So this will definitely be
We've got a
true
bone to
six-pointer.
pick with them.
And there's a true 6-pointer at stake on this one.
Yep.
So that will be on Tuesday, April 7th. So 7 more to go. Got to hang in there. Got to keep fighting and come back ready to stake our claim for the playoffs.
Drink their Gatorade.
Yes.
Keep up that energy.
I will say that no matter what happens this season, no matter what happens in the next 7 matches, this will be the highest that Wrexham will have ever finished at the end of the season in their 164-year history. So you can't turn that down, right? So
you can't.
You can't.
Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for joining us this week. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
You can also email us at wxmcoffeematchup@gmail.com. All one word. That's wxmcoffeematchup@gmail.com. Or you can follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky at wxmcoffeematchup.
From the cop to your coffee cup, that's all for today's Wrexham Coffee Matchup. Keep it brewing, keep it red, and as always, up the town.